Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to another 3v3 fastest map on StarCraft Brood Wars Remastered. We're going to go ahead and jump into replay number 8 today. 13-minute game. We've got 3 Zerg, 1 Protoss, and 2 Terrans. Not often you see a game with only 1 Protoss, so let's jump in and see what we have here. Let's look at team number 1. In the bottom left corner, we've got Locasso 217, the white Zerg. Then over here we've got Elizer 410, the red Protoss. And then all the way in the bottom left corner, the name that I loved the most, that I saw earlier on, was Apple Valley 123, the yellow Zerg. We got a Zerg Protoss team. I don't know if Apple Valley is just a name that caught my eye or a name of a player I've seen before, but we will see. Keep an eye on him. Let's look at team number 2. In the top left corner, we've got Lagu Hasul, the brown Terran. And then right below him, we've got Peacebreaker, the teal Zerg. And then across the way, we've got Klopp, the purple Terran. So Terran, Zerg, Terran versus Protoss, Zerg, Zerg. So this should be an interesting one. We'll see what we end up getting. So we'll go ahead and speed things up. We'll go ahead and check out what Apple Valley's doing here to start the game as we look at the APMs. We see Klopp, the purple Terran, is up at about 270 APM. The brown Terran, has the weird name, is up at about 200, and then everyone else is, no one above 80 there. Looks like now Peacebreaker moving above 80, just as I say that. But it looks like team number 2 is the faster moving team, so we'll see what they end up doing and how they end up doing against team number 1. So let's go ahead, before we check out the upgrades, we'll go ahead and look at how everyone's starting. So we see a pretty standard start from Terran. We like that we have everything blocked off here so that everything that's going to happen is going to have to happen in front of us. Then over here, pretty nice setup here. Instead of an L, they have sort of like this trapezoid shape going on. And then Zerg over here, I really like how this is put together. This is more how I've seen it. This is more of the L shape put together here. He's doing it a little bit differently, but he should put another hatchery there, and then he'll really have something going. And then over here, and it's interesting that each person building just a tad different. That's what's so awesome about StarCraft, is everyone plays a little bit differently, everyone tries something different on different games, and it really makes a difference in the game. Okay. You've seen purple getting out a lot of Marines, seems like that's the route they're going, and then red getting some Zealots out. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of units on the field at the moment. Like the Terrans have a ton of units. Alright, here they go. They're prepared to go after red here. This is a brave attack by a Terran. So early in the game. But he does have, the increased attack range coming from Marines, but it's quite a ways away. I don't know if he got stim early on. I didn't see. But maybe he had that. But anyways, he comes up. He's going after those few cannons that are there. Yeah, it looks like he does have stim packs because those guys are shooting pretty fast. Alright, so those medics are going to have to start working overtime because these zealots are coming in. There's a lot of zealots, but stim pack really puts a big hurting on them. Alright, so he's able to hold off that initial burst. Can get another stim pack off, and he does. Oh man, look at how stim pack just absolutely melts those zealots. Alright, so in the meantime, red gets out some dragoons, and that should clean this up. And now here comes brown to back this up right at the last second. Great job by brown. And red is in all sorts of trouble, and the problem, I think, is that his partners are both Zerg, and they're not quite ready to support him yet. He's got a few cannons back here that could save the day. This is looking really bad. And again, brown also with stim pack early on. So, I've been playing a little bit recently, and I think that's something I need to make sure that I do, is get stim pack and the range early on. So while we watch this attack, we see all kinds of upgrades coming in from purple getting +1 attack, Hydralisk upgrades from teal. Alright, here comes some Hydralisk from white. Yellow almost done with their Hydralisk upgrades. White getting some. So we're about to see a lot of Hydralisk on the field. So this is when it would probably... Ooh, purple cutting off some of those Hydralisks there. As those upgrades come in, you might want to see some tanks get involved, but we'll see what ends up happening. Alright, so... Purple and brown continuing to put pressure on. These medics are keeping these Marines alive. This Marine has 9 kills. This one has 11 kills. Here comes reinforcements from purple. Here comes teal to help. What a push here by team number 2. Putting all kinds of pressure on Eliza. Alright, they're trying to get to those cannons, but they can't do it. They're better served to just sit on top of this production. Give him his economy, but if he doesn't have his, well, now they're just taking up the base. Nicely done. Alright, in the meantime, yellow, Apple Valley looking for a counterattack on Peacebreaker. This guy's getting up creep colonies immediately. He doesn't have enough guys to commit to this at all. Yellow with like a very small assault. Purple comes in to take over. Alright, here comes white on top of it. In the meantime, it looks like red sort of cleaned up what's happening there. Here comes brown moving out. All kinds of units moving around on the field here. Here comes yellow with white. Teal gets all of the sunken colonies up with his Hydralisk. That should be enough to hold. Plus he's got brown coming in from behind. Brown doesn't have any upgrades on those yet. None of the Hydralisks are upgraded either. So that a first initial attack stops. Here comes Apple Valley with more. He probably should just stop and macro up. Here comes purple off all of those barracks. That's crazy. Now he's getting the factories to back it up. He's moving in on white. Oh man, what a play here by purple. He's got tons of units coming in. He's sort of moving them all to the corner and attacking from up above. Actually a pretty smart move. He moves his Hydralisk into play, but there's a ton of Marines here. And now they have ones on their attack. And there's plenty of medics there to heal these guys up. They are pressing hard here. In the meantime, there's a big attack going on. Looks like Teal gets enough lurkers that he's going to stop him there. Yellow's just not macroing up quick enough. Yeah, getting lurkers is actually pretty smart. Meantime, Red sort of trying to recover from that early attack. It is really hard to recover when someone destroys your main base. It just makes it so hard. Looks like Teal's going up to just try to finish him off. Wow, what a performance by this team number 2. Absolute steamrolling. Peacebreaker certainly broke the peace. Alright, there's a lot of lurkers there. Lurkers are going to be awesome against Marines. I think that's what they should have done initially. Try to take those things out. Or take these armies out. Purple did a really good job getting out tons of Marines. And then so did Brown. He had 4 barracks. Look at the way they set these bases up. It's just so beautiful. So thoughtful in their design. And like, I mean, it's just so well put together. All the upgrades coming in. Marines flow through here. Factor items flow through here. Here comes all the Stargates. I mean, really, really nice Terran play. And Eliza finally leaves, as does White. And And yellow is pushing in on teal still, but they got a pretty good setup themselves, and they're pumping out a lot of Hydralisks. And they're at 1-1s, but I think this guy's just going to be a little outmatched here with what's coming his way. Here comes purple. He's got tanks to back this up. He's not even sieging them because he doesn't even really need to. Tanks really doing work. And tanks are pretty effective even when they're not sieged. I'm not saying that's the best way, but here you don't even really have to block away. Just keep the pressure on with the tanks, how they are. Yeah, bring one around like that is super smart. Oh, actually, that's just because there's not enough room for them all to move through. Oh man, look at this huge army of people coming down to kill this guy. This is bad. And I don't think it's too long now until yellow taps out. We'll go ahead and speed this process up. He's fighting valiantly, but there's just a massive army there coming at him. I don't think there's any amount of work you can do to stop that. Here come the Sunkens doing a pretty good amount of work. Here come the Valkyries in at the end to take out all those Overlords to supply block them. I mean, just a massacre. And the APM sort of told the story in that one. What an absolute stomping there. Pretty impressive performance by that group. I think that's one you gotta look at these other people's bases and say, wow, this is the reason they were winning. And even building stuff over here. He's getting ready to start nuking just for fun. And then this guy's base as well. I mean, just really nicely done. I mean, Teal didn't even really have to do much of anything. He just had to hold there, and he did. But yeah, nice little game there. But yeah, I wanted to squeeze one in before the end of the night, so thanks for joining me. And I will catch you on the next replay. Have a good rest of your week.